This week's records, what am I showing? Psyche, funky, electronic, and a dead dad. That probably describes it best, so hey, stick around. Let's look at this. Welcome to the early morning show, everyone. Look at that. I'm classing it up today. You know, we're doing Van Gogh. Gives it more of an artsy feel. Kind of makes up for myself. So we gotta try. You gotta try what you gotta do. The opening. That was when we were in Denver. We're driving back from where the hell were we? We were driving back from it, wherever we were. And there was this lit up place. Oh, I guess we were out eating. And it's like, what the heck? Look at all them lights. And it was behind this wall. My kid goes, oh, you got to see this house. And so we go there, and it's like Art Griswold from, Christmas Vacation. Eat your heart out. Oh, my God. Look at that. I mean, you have to be able to see that place from outer space. Mind-blowing. So there's always a good time to show Christmas lights. And I'm the Christmas light channel, damn it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. It was just, wow, that was truly amazing. Oh, the co-host is outside freezing his ass off. There's something out there that has his interest, and it's cold, it's snowy, it's everything I hate about winter is going on right now. It just checks off all my this sucks about winter. It's all happening right now, and he's out there. There's he must see some animal out there that he just feels, as him being an old fart cat, I'm going to hunt this guy, and I'm going to watch, and I'm going to sit there. So hey, there is no co-host. Cat. There you go. That's the closest you're getting to see Cat today. I guess he's back there too. My shameless self-promoting advertising. But yeah, that's about all I got. I don't even know what nerd week. I'm heading Dallas. They asked me to come in. They want to find out. So what are you doing out there? I don't know. I just I post, I guess for work, I eat out a lot, and I post my food on Facebook. Yeah, that's pretty much my life. We'll see. That's okay. I'm kind of excited. Head down there. Head down in the morning, come back the next morning. One of those things for 90 minutes. 90-minute discussion with our 3 people in charge. Okay, but we're going to look at some records. And this first one, oh my God. Hiboshi Beer, Hiboshi Beer, Hiboshi Beer, Hibushibire. There you go. Yeah. And the name of this album is Turn On, Dummy. No. Tune In. Nope. Turn On. There we go. Turn on, tune in, freak out. Okay, that kind of explains it. I'm pretty sure I remember I saw this from Jeff. JG, the Yokohama Papa. Great channel. Been friends with him for, I think since I've been in the VC. He lived in Japan for a very long time, so the stuff he shows is pretty interesting. He has a really far out taste, and so he does a lot of what he's been listening to lately type of things. Neat label, and nothing special. There is a little insert here with words that are in English. They are from Osaka, which again is a fun word to use this week and say within as many sentences as humanly possible. Osaka. It feels like you're speaking Japanese. 2012 is when they were formed. Japan really comes out with some incredible psych groups. So it's a hard, this is a hard psych freak out rock band. Probably best describes it. And this is their second album. Turn on, tune in, and freak out. It is guitar-driven, hard driving psych, and I think the album came out in 2021 if I remember right. There is just a lot of, just tons of hypnotic twists and turns that are happening within this album. So interesting. It's probably best taken with LSD. Now, like, I would know that, anything about it, but there's no doubt that even with that name of that, you look at that cover, some LSD, this baby's going to just sound fantastic. Their lead guitarist, vocalist, and the main man does the writing. His name is Chang Chang. Again, just fun. Chang Chang. I like that. If I didn't want my name to be Mike, it would be Chang Chang. But and he just puts together some great music. The second side, it's just Roller Coaster of the Universe is the name of the song. It's just one song on the second side for 17 minutes. You have Ecstasy, Highway Star, Blow, 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 Overdose, Pussycat, More. Just tells y'all, I mean, how could you not like this? It is just trippy, fun guitar pyrotechnics. I mean, it really is, and it has a great groove. Just one of these things, you see the cover, go, hey, that is really neat. So I'm really happy to get this. Pretty sure, Jeff, you turned me on to this. You know, Sean, I don't know, Sean has so many different names. You know, he could have shown this. This would be something he would be listening to, but great psych, new psych from Japan. Really good. We have this, and this was given to me by Abbey. Abbey doesn't have a channel. Her and her husband were out shopping. Abbey works at Radio Wasteland Records. She was there, you know, part-time, and I usually see her on Sundays. And she saw this album. Her and her husband out shopping. They saw this album, and they thought of me, and they picked it up, and that's just kind of, it just blew me away. Very surprising. People have been very good to me. I just amazed. And so, yeah, thank you, Abbey. This was great. I remember this came out. I believe this came out in 2012. Love This Giant. We have St. Vincent and David Byrne. David Byrne, St. Vincent. There, we've met. And I was going to buy it. And I didn't, because in this world, we know that there are a hell of a lot of things come out. I already showed that. That's kind of creepy, isn't it? Isn't it? Just, yeah, creepy. But these are two artists that separately make very smart lyrics, very intelligent lyrics. And so put them together, and it's like a double smart album. Maybe I thought, maybe it's too smart for me. And the music's really neat. What's interesting on this is the amount of brass. They really went after the brass band. I mean, you think of David Byrne did that music on Broadway, and he used like a marching band to do like talking head covers. Excuse me. And I think, oh boy, that coffee makes really getting me belching. I think this album really put him in a whole different creative direction, and he began going that way. You know, it begins off with the song Just Who, which is a wonderful song. There's just these great vocals, the brass, and there's a driving rhythm that just pushes it forward. Really, really neat. You know, in this album, that the brass really dominates, and there is a lot of different people that play brass on this album. When you look at the list of credits, it's like, gigantic, the amount. But the album took 3 years, and a lot of it was done online. It wasn't, they didn't meet a ton. They were just, communicating back and forth. And it took 3 years to get this thing completed. Forest, was it? The Forest Awakes. The Forest Awakes was very neat. And that one, Annie Clark, St. Vincent, Annie Clark, she, takes the lead. And on this one, she really lets her guitar playing. It's just unfettered. I mean, it's just, here we come. And she's a great guitarist, and you can really hear it in there. And again, there's just this relentless marching beat that's happening. My only complaint on this, and it's probably why I didn't buy it, is the album cover. Why? Well, I mean, why the distorted face? And there's no doubt there's an artistic reason for let's distort her face. Let's kind of make her look freaked out. I mean, David looks a little different, but okay, I can see this, but I don't get that. But that's all right. The music's great, and so really, really happy to get this. Love this giant from St. Vincent, and David Byrne. David Byrne's one of my all-time favorites. So Abbey, thank you. This is just the most unexpected thing, and really appreciate it. And great music. Thank you. Africa. What's happening in Africa, you say? Oh, there's always something. And today, I believe this is from the Ivory Coast. Ernesto Dehede. You can, for those, I think it's a French area, so I don't know, maybe that makes sense. He went to school in French, so maybe that last name, for those that speak French, can say it. I'm not sure. We know I can't. He was born in 1947, and again, I think it was the Ivory Coast. He learned guitar as a youngster, started playing in a band at age 63, he would have been 16. By 68, he went to Paris for school. He went to study computer science. Give him credit for that, man. 68, already going to study computer science. We have a hype sticker. Look at that. Yeah. For those, it's a hype sticker. Okay, there we go. For the hype sticker enthusiasts, we gave that out. In Paris, though, he began to, he had been in some bands before he left. When we went to Paris, he began recording again, worked with some bands, and he put out some singles in 71 and 73. And they were produced by Manu Dibanjo, which, if for those that like, the African music, even some of the Latin stuff, Manu Dibanjo, huge. And I have a few albums from him. Big time producer for that. This is funk music with a disco beat. Probably best way to describe it. Really, really neat stuff. When 74, he did return back to the Ivory Coast. He formed a band. They toured in Nigeria. In Nigeria, they heard Fela Kuti. That really got them inspired. And they began making some different, types of music. By 78, he reached his peak. By 82, he actually quit music. And he died in 83 at age 38 under mysterious circumstances in a military hospital. And so we don't know. The music is wonderful. It's organ, there's horns, there's guitars, strong propulsive beats are happening with the percussion going on. It's very danceable. It's uplifting. The vocals are very good. The lyrics are political. Now, I don't understand a word because it's not in English, but they were based more on political. But it was done in just more of the dance type way, which by 75 was going. There's only 4 songs, so it wasn't like he put out a lot of albums, but his band was popular, and so it's, you know, it's almost like the Cootie, except Fela Kuti would only have 2 songs. He has 4 songs, but it gets you into a great groove, really fun stuff, great music from Analog Africa that came out last year. Really enjoyed that. From Cleveland. I found these at Radio Wasteland, and what I really appreciate, Jim, there is when I come in on Sundays is I just find something. Hey, can we play this? Can we play that? And you know, he'll put anything on his turntable, and so I saw this as I hadn't seen it before, and My Dad Is Dead. Now, that just makes you kind of stop and go, what? What? That's the name of the group. My Dad Is Dead. If that doesn't sound sad, nothing will sound sad. So, from Cleveland, and Mark Edwards is the person's name. He is a one-man wrecking crew, kind of like a Beavis Frond. So he does almost everything. He'll bring in a few people to help out, but not much. It's pretty much just Mark Edwards. And My Dad Is Dead formed in 1984. Out of Cleveland, broke up in 2011. So Michael, Near Wild Heaven, you've probably seen My Dad Is Dead play, have his stuff. I don't know. This was brand new to me. In this time period, he put out 12 albums, which is a lot. The music's kind of post-punk, indie rock. When we dropped this on, my first thought, and Jim at the store, was Joy Division. His voice had that monotone, almost flat sound that you got from Joy Division. Really, really interesting. And He's Not Going to Take It Anymore is the name of this. He's Not Going to Take It Anymore. This album came out in 86, and this was his second album. Nothing super special in there, just kind of a neat little label. My Dad Is Dead. And both his parents had died by the time he was age 24, which kind of came up with this morose title of a band. And the music is very interesting. Again, he plays all the instruments. It's darker music, darker lyrics, and very, very guitar oriented. So this was his second album. His third album was Peace, Love, and Murder. And nothing like a little boy in whitey tighties holding up 2 rifles. If that don't say this is from America, I don't know what else is going to. I mean, yeah. And here, just another one that he just did. Drum machines are used in this, some of the programming. Very neat stuff. Again, such a, almost like a Joy Division feel to it. The label is Birth Records. Really happy to pick these up. That was really neat. I enjoyed both these. And if you feel down, put on My Dad Is Dead, just to not help you whatsoever. But good music, really good. twofer. So we're about twofers. Macy Gray. I have never seen her albums in the wild. My local Radio Wasteland, there they are. Macy Gray. I was just kind of blown away by that, to see them. And her name is actually Natalie Renee McIntyre. Yeah, Natalie Renee McIntyre. You know, didn't see that coming. From Canton, Ohio. She went to high school with Marilyn Manson, though they didn't know each other. But she was there. She's born in '67, R&B, soul. Everyone really knows, I would think you know her, because she has that distinctive, raspy voice. I mean, her voice is, it's her own. Billie Holiday was her big influence. She's put out 10 albums, has had 5 Grammys, if I remember right. Now, so why Macy Gray? Why Macy Gray? When she was young, she had a bike accident. And as she's laying on the ground, she looks up and she sees a mailbox. The name on the mailbox is Macy Gray. And that stuck with her. As she was in, as a teenager, she was writing stories. She used the name Macy Gray. And when she got into music, she used Macy Gray. Weird, isn't that? Yeah, one of those things. She started to sing in college. She actually is a classically trained pianist, but in college she started singing. It was by accident. There were some people she knew. They were going to do a demo, and the vocalist didn't show up, so they asked her to. And so she did. And she had a hard time at first, then when she thought about going into music, she kind of had a hard time with it because her voice, people are trying to think, man, that is a weird voice. Yeah, all right. Okay, I don't know. These are things when you look into a camera you see and you just can't help yourself. But she did get a contract, finally, I believe, with Epic. And this is her first album, Oh How Life Is, in 1999. It came out. And what a great album. This thing took the music world by storm. Beautiful voice. Who could not forget this one? And it has Sexomatic Venus Freak is on here. Boom. That is a great one. But it's retro soul vibes that are happening. There's shades of, you're kind of shades of Prince and Sly Stone. And Stevie Wonder probably too. You have this feeling in there. It has slinky, there's the song Do Something, just has that slinky feel to it. The catchy ballad I Try, and of course Sexomatic Venus Freak. Excellent. What a great debut that was. And then she followed up next with the Id. And the Id, why does that feel? I am so confused. I'm confusing myself. The Id came out in 2001, which also sold extremely well. And so these are beautiful originals that I was able to get. I had them on CD, so I had them both on CD. I liked Macy Gray, but it's not like I ever see her music. If you don't see it, you don't think about it. So really good pickup. Great to have that. Give me some. We are the genius of love. Feel like an X-rated movie star. It's the way you love me down. It's the way you love me down. Every time we kiss, you bring out the woman in me. And every time you are happy like a cartoon, believe in love and it will come down. No man fantasy, can't you see you and me in my naughty loving fantasy. Had this. This is Ultravox. You can read that, so we're all smart enough to know that. System of Romance this is their third album that came out in '78. what made this different is Connie Park. Connie Park was the producer of Kraftwerk. He came in and produced them. Now, this was the final album that had John Fox on it, the original vocalist for Ultravox. By the time the third album came out, I think their guitarist had left. They were in turmoil, and then Mitch Ure came in. But here, because Connie Park comes in, the synthesizers take over. They were more of a punk band. The first Ultravox album, I think, is wonderful, and I need to get that back into my collection one of these days. I really liked it. Now, after this came Vienna, and Vienna is just a masterpiece of an album also. But here, they brought the synths to the front, and it was an absolute commercial failure. Just flopped. Nobody cared. But the album has been extremely influential, extremely for the electro-pop music because of what they did. It took Kraftwerk's sound, but made it into more pop-oriented that people could enjoy. They used, instead of the bass, they used a synth bass, and they introduced drum tracks on here. Now, there is live drumming, but also drum tracks come. What a fun album to find. Systems of Romance from Ultravox. Happy to have it. Really cool stuff. Final one, Buffalo Springfield. I used to have this in a CD, but I've never had it on album. There's the boys on there. And I remember this because I had a compilation, one of my very first compilations I ever bought. There was the song on there, Flying on the Ground is Wrong. And I love that. I just thought, what a pretty song. That is really, really neat. But, and then, of course, I learned about is Buffalo Springfield. And, of course, you have For What It's Worth is on here. I like Richie Furay. His vocals, I think, are the best. I like the songs that he did the best. Of course, Stephen Stills and Neil Young are on here. Good album. And, it was there, and I thought, no, I'll pick this up. I wonder if I picked this up at that pick in the basement. It probably was. So, happy to have it. Isn't something I would spin all the time? No, it's not. It's not necessarily my wheelhouse of music. But, just for that, Flying on the Ground is Wrong, which is an incredibly beautiful song. And there was some other good stuff on here that I really liked. And then there was some stuff, what was it? I didn't much care for Leave. That one didn't do anything for me. Or Pay the Price. Kind of the Stephen Stills stuff I didn't like as much. I liked mostly the Richie Furay, though For What It's Worth was Stephen Stills. Good album, classic album. A lot of people absolutely, will say, if you see it, it's worth picking up. It doesn't cost a lot, so especially if you buy it in someone's basement. And hey, that's an old album. Is there? There's an old time label, Atco. And is there? And we got the original inner sleeve that this is in, and it's just an ugly brown. I'm not showing it. That's all for this week. Thank you for hanging in there. I'm going to have a midweek. We're going to look at 1981. What my favorite albums from 1981. Another incredible year of music for me because I'm graduating from college, getting the first job. So big stuff. I started making the big bucks. Right. Thanks for hanging in there. So long from me and Vincent. Cat says hi. I better go let him in now. So long.